The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you an OU tier Pokemon Showdown battle, and this time I actually have the right team preview for this battle against Q Seasons. So yeah, looking at this team, I've got my Fantastic Sun team of Specs Ninetales, Life Orb Mamoswine, Physically Defensive Support Fortress, Life Orb Venusaur, Sash Dugtrio, and fully physically defensive Calm Mind Latias. So looking at my opponent's team, he's got some threats, and you see T-Tar and you're seeing Sand Team. So I definitely have noticed recently that there have been a ton of Sand teams and Rain teams, and like no Sun at all, and definitely no Hail. So it can definitely be a challenge to face teams that have technically an advantage over you, because T-Tar versus Ninetales or Politoed versus Ninetales is not a favorable matchup for me. So winning that Weather War will be very nice for me, and if I can set up with Venusaur, I can basically sweep his entire team. Or if I feel like it, if I can get some Calm Minds up before his Latias does, I should be able to take out his entire team barring Rachi. So that's the game plan, and the reason that I'm uploading this is I know Q Seasons is pretty recognizable for being a decent player. I know he's voiced, and I'm guessing it's because of his skill and not just for chatting around all of Showdown. And there were a ton of people in the chat as well, and they were definitely talking a bit of shiitake mushrooms, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm definitely thinking, you know what, this would be entertaining to upload. It was definitely a crazy battle, so let's see how this battle goes. So I'm going to start with my Ninetales just cause, you know, might as well get up your weather, and I see he has a Rotom Wash, and well, I don't really want to stay in for a Hydro Pump because I'm offensive, and even though I have the Sun Up and I have Natural Special Bulk, I'm not going to take it too well. So I have my Latias in, I'm going to go for a D-Pulse just to see what he's doing. Turns out he goes for the Pursuit, and looking at his item now, seeing his lefties, I'm thinking, okay, it's really a 50-50 if I can go out for the Pursuit or he goes for the Crunch. So I am going to recover a bit, see what he goes for. He seems to keep going for the Crunch, and I'm thinking I'll probably be able to save it if I can just convince him that I'm trying to stay in and he's going to try to crunch me forever. The problem is if he does get a defense drop, it is definitely likely I'm going to switch out. But I am going to switch out in time to bring in my Fortress, but he actually switches to his Latias on the same turn. So I see a Life Orb on his Latias, so it's extremely offensive. I'm just going to go for the Gyro Ball in case he tries Calm Minding. I just want to get a bit of damage, or if he goes for the sub. So now he brings in his Lando T. I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks, and he doesn't have a spinner, so it's definitely here to stay. So now I get a layer of spikes up, which is also pretty nice, even though most of his pokes are kind of levitating or just dodging them spikes, but half of his team is still affected by it, so it's okay. But I definitely want those rocks out of here, because this is a Sun team after all, and I don't want Ninetales to take too much damage, and I don't want my Dugtrio to lose its valuable Sash. So I'm just going to keep Rapid Spinning until this thing decides to give up, because I definitely have more Rapid Spins and he has patience. So he finally goes for the EQ, and now I bring in Mamo, and the Ice Shard is very obvious. So I am actually going to go for the EQ, predicting the Jirachi, but turns out he brings in Rotom Wash, which is definitely the better play, as Rotom Wash is a great counter to Mamo, and I should have thought of that. So now he goes for the Willow on my Latias, and this Latias with Burn plus Sand is definitely looking like it's not going to amount to much. So he goes for the Volt Switch, and he brings in his Lando T actually, and I can definitely not survive much from this range. I'm just going to go for the Side Shock. Does a decent chunk to that Lando T, but it's pretty bulky, so it only takes about 20%. Go for the D-Pulse, and it actually outspeed, so it tells me he probably doesn't have any speed investment at all, or just very little, and he's able to get his rocks up now, so that's kind of unfortunate. So here I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge, because in case he brings in his Rotom Wash, but now he brings it in, and he just sacks his Lando T as the good play. And I just want to see what this Rotom Wash is going to do. Turns out goes for the Hydro Pump, and Venusaur takes it pretty nicely. Now I'm in the sand, so Venusaur is definitely not in the best position, and now he actually brings in his Latias. And I go for the HP Fire, and turns out hits the Latias, and it has enough because of that Life Orb that the Latias goes down, so that's really nice, because that could have been a threat if it set up enough Calm Minds. Now, he goes for the Iron Head with his Rachi. I'm guessing it's Scarf, judging by the way he brought it in and keeps using it for Iron Heads. So I'm really just hoping maybe I can get a flamethrower off. That would be very nice. And I actually do. And that's a Specs flamethrower in the sun. It's going to kill it. Now he brings in his Terrakion, and I haven't won the Weather War yet, but at the same time, I already lost Venusaur, and he doesn't really have anything that benefits from the sand, so I'm totally fine with just keep going for Flamethrower. And he was so surprised, like, how are you killing my sub with your Flamethrower? It's like, boom, man, I'm Specs. Now I bring in Dugtrio thinking I'm just going to take it out with an EQ easy, and then I'm like, oh, this is one case where Adamant actually matters. So here I'm going to go for the Ice Shard, take out that Terrakion, and that's cool. And I'm just thinking, I don't think Jolly Dugtrio will work that well. It's just, it won't do as much power with that flimsy attack. But this is huge. He misses the Hydro Pump, and then I hit him off with the superpower, and he goes down. And now all he has left is T-Tar, and I've got another superpower coming to his face. Take him out with that unnecessary crit. And that's going to be the narrow 1-0 victory. And everyone was just like, what? No, the friggin' Rotom Wash missing that Hydro Pump. All I gotta say is train your pokes a bit better. No, but seriously, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.